There are so many inspirational nail art pictures on social media, but you've got to have a steady hand and a lot of talent to succeed. Here are 10 times people most definitely did not nail it. Be sure to use your nails to give our video a big thumbs up. Bubbles. If you want to give the impression you've got some kind of disease, by all means go ahead and have a go at bubble art on your nails. Just don't be surprised when people start backing away from you in the supermarket. These bubbles look more like balls of pus ready to ooze all over the place when popped. Not a pleasant look, and surely totally impractical too. Stars and stripes. Patriotic nail art can be striking, particularly for a special occasion like a national holiday, but only if you've got a really steady hand, or a very simple flag design to copy, because it seems painting stars and stripes on your nails is pretty hard. If you're wondering what's more difficult, stars or stripes, the answer appears to be both. Perhaps next time stick to block red, white, and blue colors, or pay a pro to do the job properly. Those patterns are just too hard. Quilted. There's a real skill in being able to create different levels on your nails, and the pros know all the tricks of the trade to create these kinds of intricate designs. Quilting has to be up there as one of the hardest effects to achieve. There was no way this amateur could ever scratch out part of their design and keep their nails looking good. And those white dots just accentuate the mess. That's not a quilt anyone would want to snuggle up to. Intergalactic. Painting the illusion of outer space on your nails is a big ask, so it's probably best that amateurs don't attempt it. Surely this kind of out-of-this-world effect is achieved with sprays and all sorts of fancy nail art equipment. Splodging a few dots just isn't going to cut it, and those crosses couldn't look further from stars if they tried. Rainbow swirls. Once you've seen flesh completely covered in polish, you don't come down quite so hard on amateur nail artists who mess up their designs, but at least keep them on their actual nails. Swirl designs look seriously complicated. Water marbling is definitely hard, so only a pro could really achieve such a finish. But to end up with totally covered flesh, surely these people painted theirs in the dark. Epic fail. Tips. One of the biggest challenges in doing your own nail art is that you have to use each hand. Chances are you'll have a dominant hand and, well, a hand that totally sucks. When using your better hand, you can give a half-decent attempt at a bit of precision, but when it's time to swap, the other side ends up looking horrendous. If you want neat tips on both your hands, our top tip is to pay someone else to do it. Carnage. It's kinda cute when you get your partner involved in your hobbies, but perhaps leave the nail painting to your friends who have at least some idea of how to hold a brush steady. The person's boyfriend clearly isn't used to painting nails, and the choice of red just makes it even worse. It looks like blood is seeping out of those toenails. Not a good look. Mustache. Quirky designs are really fun if you get them right. And by getting them right, you need to at least follow one golden rule of nail art. Let them dry. If you move your hands before the paint has totally set, you're going to end up with a smudgy mess. And the second rule of nail art is to use the right size applicator. When you're trying to paint tiny mustaches, you need a tiny tool. Otherwise, you end up looking like a bit of a fool. Chevrons. So, you have to give props to anyone who can achieve some sort of straight line in their nail art, and chevrons in particular are not easy, but the final effect is ruined by the smudged polish behind, and the fact that the gradient of color looks like murky pond water. Not the best choice of colors when you consider there's a whole rainbow of pretty shades to choose from. Outlines. If you've never attempted nail art, you might assume drawing an outline is easy. We've all had plenty of practice at it after all, like every time we've ever drawn anything. But when it comes to painting a thin line around the edge of your nail, easy is far from reality. Your neat line can look like a wavy mess. Perhaps these nail art fails would have been more successful if their owners had tried using a slimmer tool. Just saying. Candy canes. This candy cane design is perfect for the holiday season, and it looks pretty easy to achieve, right? All you need is some white and red sparkly polish and a steady hand to draw each straight line. But I guess this look is much harder to perfect than we imagined. Just take a look at this epic fail full of uneven, squiggly lines. This messy application would definitely make us hide our hands in our pockets forever. Plaid. What's better than wearing a beautiful plaid shirt? How about plaid nails? This nail art trend is insanely popular, and it adds a little bit of fashionable style to your nails. But perhaps this DIYer should have thought twice before attempting to recreate this design. To achieve this look, you need to cut various colors of tape into strips. Then the tape is aligned on the nails to create the plaid effect. But obviously, this DIYer missed a step or two in the process because her plaid nails ended up looking more like an orange blob. Gradient. Gradient nail art combines two colors that complement each other. Using a sponge, you can apply a mixture of the two colors to your nails to create a subtle yet eye-catching effect. But this DIY attempt turned into an epic disaster. The shades of blue are way too similar to pull off the gradient effect, and it looks like more polish ended up on her skin than on her fingernails. Puzzle pieces. How cool do these interlocking puzzle pieces look? For a nail art guru, pulling off this look would be easy. But if you're a beginner when it comes to decorating your nails, you may want to leave this one to the pros. A shaky hand and imprecise hand movements turn this nail art project into a completely messy fail. Tricolor. Tricolor nail art is an awesome way to show off three of your favorite nail colors at the same time. To pull off this look, you can use strips of nail tape to create 3 sections. Then, you carefully paint each section with the color of your choice. But what looks like an easy nail art project turns into a complete fail. The sections aren't lined up correctly, and it looks like she forgot to let her nails fully dry before going about her day. The results? A tricolor disaster that makes us cringe. Heart blob. How adorable is this heart design against the striped background? This nail art is all things cutesy and fun, and one nail art aficionado couldn't wait to give it a try. But her dreams of sporting a cute little heart on her nail came to a screeching halt. It looks like she didn't even bother to even attempt to draw the shape of the heart. Instead, she just dabbed a bunch of pink polish on the center of her nail and called it a day. Patriotic. These patriotic nails really caught our attention. We were immediately drawn to the red, white, and blue nail colors, the glittery accent nail, and the red heart front and center on the ring finger. It looks pretty easy to recreate, right? Wrong. This DIY attempt at a patriotic manicure turned into a complete disaster. The white and blue stripes are completely uneven, and the heart has even been smudged one too many times. Picturesque. This picturesque scene was painted onto nails using a tiny nail art brush. It takes a lot of skill and precision to get the outline of the trees and the birds just right. One false move can spell disaster. This DIYer found out the hard way that picturesque nail art is way more difficult than it appears. Her trees resemble splotches of color, and her bird looks more like a cross. This is definitely an ultimate fail. Turquoise. Turquoise is gorgeous when it's used to make dazzling jewelry, so why not use the beautiful colors of the gemstone as nail art inspiration? When done correctly, the turquoise polish mixes together with a darker hue to mimic the veiny lines on natural turquoise. But this failed attempt at recreating this look left one woman's nails looking like a complete mess. Did she even attempt to blend the dark polish? We doubt it. And the fact that most of the polish ended up on her finger is proof that you should definitely proceed with caution before giving this trend a go. Tie-dye. This tie-dye nail art is all things fun and psychedelic. To recreate this look, you need to dip your fingertips in a bowl full of water and various bright colors of nail polish. Then, place pieces of tape around the nail to protect the skin from getting messy. This DIYer had the right idea, but her execution was flawed. Her tie-dye nails ended up looking like a drippy, gooey mess.
Simple heart gone wrong. You would think that drawing a simple heart on your nail would be easy, but this nail art enthusiast found out that even the easiest nail designs take some skill. The perfect heart in the inspiration photo was probably achieved with the help of a nail decal, but it appears that the DIYer didn't get the memo. They tried to draw the heart design using a nail brush, and the results were a red, splotchy mess. It sort of looks like the Tinder logo. So, if that's the look she was going for, more power to her. Mustaches or birds? If you're trying to figure out what's going on here, you're not alone. Perhaps this person was trying to paint birds flying over the horizon. Or maybe those black squiggly lines are actually mustaches. Who knows? This manicure had a lot of potential, but the execution was a little bit flawed. Polish is all over her skin, and it looks like she completely gave up on finishing the art once she reached her index finger. We think that with a little bit of patience and more practice, she could definitely pull this look off, whatever look that may be. Coral weeps. This woman took her love for the ocean a little too far. Instead of sticking with warm colors to pay homage to the water and its inhabitants, she decided to get really creative by turning her nails into coral reefs. The reefs are accompanied by seashells, clams, oysters, and jellyfish that have been glued to each nail. As crazy as these nails are, we just can't take our eyes off of them. And we wonder how she manages to drive her car, put on makeup, or go to the restroom. She would definitely need a helping hand just to get through her daily routine. Flared disaster. Flared or duck feet nails have been struggling to remain relevant in recent years, but there are still some nail art aficionados who love the fanned-out look. This nail design wouldn't be so bad if the length and shape of the nails were downsized, but since this nail art lover decided to go for the longest, most flared-out design ever, it turned these nails into an absolute fail. Too furry. For those who can appreciate a classic nail silhouette and subtle hues, these fuzzy nails are anything but conventional. The furry style made its debut in early 2016, and the beauty community went absolutely nuts over the idea of wearing fur on a place other than a sweater or a scarf. But these furry nails are not only impractical, but they will definitely pose a major problem when it comes to taking a shower, washing your hands, and cooking dinner. Could you imagine finding little strands of fur in your spaghetti? Ew, gross. Swiss Army fail. We have to give her an A+ for creativity, but that doesn't negate the fact that these Swiss Army nails are the ultimate fail. Modeled after the multi-tool pocket knife, these nails look like an accident waiting to happen. We can only imagine waking up with scratches and jabs all over our bodies, or accidentally slicing a stranger's finger as we reach out for a handshake. Yikes. Gudetama. We're all for a cutesy Hello Kitty-inspired nail design, but we can't help but to think this woman went over the edge when she debuted her nails in honor of Gudetama. This newest member of the Sanrio family is a sunny-side-up egg attached to a pair of teeny tiny arms and legs. This nail art even includes Gudetama's cracked shell and some super long acrylics and shimmery colors that are definitely eye-catching. But in the end, we have to label this nail art as a fail because eggs should be consumed, not worn. 'Tis the season. We're not quite sure what look this nail artist was going for, but we're going to assume she was attempting to make some holiday-inspired nails, and completely failed. She started off on the right foot by using frosty white and green hues on her nails, and let's just ignore the messy application, shall we? When it comes to her design, it appears she was going for a Christmas tree look. Using a tiny nail brush would have helped her tremendously, but instead she used a toothpick. No wonder her design turned out so messy. The Force is disappointed. This nail art was inspired by Star Wars The Force Awakens, and although we're in love with the idea behind these R2-D2 nails, we only wish the DIYer had taken a little more time to make the application look flawless. The lines are uneven and blotchy, and if it weren't for the recognizable colors of the character, we would be clueless as to what the nail artist was really trying to create. Money lover. This nail art lover decided to put her love for money on full display, but the results leave much to be desired. Because the nails are so long and flared out, the artist had a lot of room to turn these nails into a complete disaster. Dollar signs can be seen, as well as the number 5 from the $5 bill. This nail art officially became a fail when we noticed the penny that was adhered to one of the nails. So flashy and so cringy.
Which nail art fail is the absolute worst? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to The Taco.